Concrete images of our past come from a variety of sources. An elegant old wood house, a soaring totem pole, or even the crumbling remains of a turn-of-the-century gold mining operation. Unfortunately, some of Southeast Alaska's irreplaceable cultural resources are disappearing faster than they should. And when they're gone, for whatever reason, a part of all of our heritage is lost.
We know in this part of Southeast Alaska that man has lived here for approximately 8,000 years. These people utilize the abundant resources of the area: food from the sea, wood for shelter, minerals for tools, and for other things. We do the same thing today, and throughout history, people have left those tools and the remnants of their shelters. This is what we find.
Oh, wow. Look at this. A memorial pole.
This is part of our cultural heritage. It's analogous possibly to more recent artifacts, including the Washington and Lincoln Memorial and that sort of thing. It's a reminder of our past, of our cultural heritage.
An estimated 2,500 to 3,000 historic and prehistoric sites are part of the cultural heritage of Southeast Alaska. Some sites, like this pole left behind at a small village, are fairly easy to find. Older prehistoric sites are more difficult to find. Shell middens, the garbage dumps of earlier peoples, are often found in the roots of fallen trees. Some historic sites are indicated on maps with the name of a town that no longer exists. These sites, called cultural resources, are protected by various state and federal laws that provide penalties for unlawful excavation, alteration, destruction, or removal of artifacts. These laws also require federal archaeologists to identify the cultural resources on public lands.
Once we locate them, we go through a specific procedure to determine their significance. If a cultural resource site is determined to be significant, then we afford it protection and go through the proper procedures to ensure that it is preserved into perpetuity. We are also directed to interpret these resources for the public benefit. That looks like it was part of the pump, all right.
Well, yeah, this is the base of it. It's a base to a ram.
Cultural sites are found by the remains the inhabitants left. The interpretations that archaeologists make are based on the kinds of artifacts discovered and the spatial relationships between those artifacts. Items casually or thoughtlessly moved or taken by souvenir hunters is a bit of knowledge that everyone loses.
Well, let's see if there's
Put it right back in the ground where we got it here.
How did that... The real value in these sites is the knowledge that we can gain from them, and it's analogous to a big picture puzzle. And if all the pieces are there, we can put the picture together. If some of the pieces are missing, we come out with something less than complete. And every time an artifact, either historic or prehistoric artifact, is removed from the site, it's a piece of that puzzle, and it's a piece of information that we'll never get. Each one of these sites is unique. It tells the story of the people who lived here and how they worked and how they survived. And that information potential is what is important to us. And when people come in and remove these items, part of the story is gone. Looks like we've got some recent digging going on here. Yeah. Look at all these things.
Look at this grinding board. Oh, you missed it. You must not have thought it was important enough, huh?
Guess not. Well, let's check out the rest here. The digging in this place perhaps is not a callous attempt to vandalize it, but it is perhaps more an attempt to find souvenirs. These people perhaps do not realize the damage they are creating.
Those who discover or visit a cultural site are advised to respect the site by not taking artifacts and leaving it undisturbed. That way, the secrets about the people who lived there can be shared by all.
Looks to me like a mortuary pole. Box with the cremation in there. Right?
Oh, yeah, you can see the figures on it.
This is a special place. People like us lived there, mothers and fathers, their sons and daughters, their grandmothers and grandfathers. Many of these people lived and died there. It has special significance for the native people who have ancestors who came from that place. It is probably has spiritual values for many people.
It's a spiritual feeling, like being able to feel, like feeling the vibrations, perhaps. Just the fact that my ancestors lived there. There's a spiritual energy, an excitement, if you will. While I was singing that song, there was a feeling of you could feel the energy that there had been people here before, and when I was singing the song, I almost forgot the lyrics because I was so overwhelmed at the time. There was like an energy happening, an energy flow that happens when you sing songs, you know, ancestral songs.
Now look at these pictures, Israel. Have you seen anything like that before?
Well, I have, except for the primary language.
We are recording what we have and what we have found today for the future. Many of these sites are and will be lost to natural erosion. We cannot find them all. We will not save them all. We will have at least something left for our children and grandchildren. They will at least know that this happened here. Mankind as a whole seems to have a need to know about his past. I think it's involved with the rituals we have with death and burying our loved ones. It has to do with monuments that we have created through time. I don't know why it's important to man, but it seems to be a universal desire to have a link with the past. It's part of our human nature for some reason, and I certainly don't have the answer. I don't know that anyone really knows, but to me this represents a link with our ancestors, with our cultural past, whoever we are.